My name is Brendan Paul, and I'm an Elvis impersonator in Las Vegas and co-owner of the world-famous Graceland Wedding Chapel. I'm going to show you what a day in my life looks like. Are you ready? For a little less conversation, a lot more action, baby. Hey, baby. Look at you. I usually start my morning 9, 10 a.m. My wife and I, we go out, sit by the pool, but depending on how late the night was before, sometimes we go out at noon. This is a vintage, this is called Paradise Palms. This neighborhood was built in the 60s on the golf course. It was the Stardust golf course originally. Then Desert Inn owned it in the Sahara. Lisa Marie, years ago, got rid of a bunch of stuff at Graceland. So these are Elvis's planters in his backyard at Graceland. So I saw that stuff, I said, that's so weird, a king and queen chess piece. These are Elvis's too, actually, these benches in his Beverly Hills house.
Are wind chimes?
Oh yeah, and then all the wind chimes you hear, those were all Marlon Brando's wind chimes. Like when the wind blows and I hear that, I just think, that's what Marlon Brando did. In Mulholland Drive, he heard the same thing.
So what does your day look like today?
Same as every day, 30 weddings.
30?
Or something like, I don't know, probably. I don't even count, I just see the list. I gotta go. You gonna stay out here for a little bit?
Yeah, maybe for a minute, just finish my tea.
Yeah. Another day in paradise. Usually in the morning, I like to get a game of Dig Dug in or Miss Pac-Man or Galaga. When I was a kid, I always thought the sign of success was if you could have a video game in your house. So now I have 2 in my bedroom. It's kind of juvenile, but it works. I dig it. Oh, God, you son. And then I usually do my hair, which for 30 years people have been saying, is that your real hair? But it's my real hair. Dye job, but it's all mine. The Elvis world, it's like a religion. People have come up to me doing shows and said afterwards, let me ask you, do you do Elvis for the money or for the love of Elvis? And I know what the answer has to be right there. I say for the love of Elvis, good. But it's created such a great life for me and my family, my kids. College was paid for each of them in cash. So I'm grateful. I mean, one guy lived, died, and I've done it for 30 years. I've traveled the world, all that from one guy who I never met. If there's a heaven and I met him there, I would seriously say, thank you from the bottom of my heart for what you provided for me and my family. It's unbelievable. I told my wife when I die one day, do an autopsy and ask to see my lungs and see if my lungs are completely encased in hairspray. 30 years. The king has to finish the final touches on the pump. I'll be out soon. This is actually cool. Our closet, we had our closet redone a couple years ago. My wife goes, we should have a thing for all your jumpsuits. So she had them design this case for, long enough, because I'm 6'4", with most of my costumes over the years that I've worn. So they're crazy elaborate. It's like Liberace on steroids. Wow, this weighs a ton. I forget how heavy the heavily beaded ones are. Some are much less. This is a beautiful one. This was actually embroidered by the guy that embroidered Elvis's. He's still alive. The work on that, the detail is crazy. It's the most expensive, I think, of all the suits. I think this was like $5,000, $6,000, something like that. This was a famous one Elvis wore, and I've had 3 of them because I've gone through them, but the Aloha Eagle, he wore it in Hawaii. It's kind of famous because it's red, white, and blue and all that, but yeah, pretty cool. The cape to that suit, wingspan of the cape alone is, I'm 6'4", so when you put your arms out, look at this. That's just the cape. Let's see, I'll do it the way he would have it, I guess. Something like this, yeah. And then, pretty crazy. This was, Elvis wore this in a movie called Speedway, a terrible movie, but it's kind of cool. His character was named Steve, and you could see it. I think it says Elvis, Elvis Presley in the tag. So now, let's go down and show you the other stuff I have. It's wild. I don't have vices. I don't golf. I don't gamble. I don't do anything. I buy memorabilia, but that's just to surround myself in a little cocoon and what makes me happy. So this is kind of like my theater and office where I keep a lot of the stuff I have. Costumes and things. I'm a huge fan of Planet of the Apes, the original 1968 movie. So this is all original costumes. This was Cher's 1974 on the Sonny and Cher show. This, the creme de la creme, Michael Jackson's pants. He wore these on the Victory Tour. This was a Munchkin's vest from The Wizard of Oz, 1939. So that's really old. I always tell people, if you like something, touch it. It like takes you, you're like touching history. You're reaching back. You're not, look, if I had this in a glass case, I might as well show you a picture of a vest. But I tell people, go ahead, anything you want, feel it. I think it might be time for me to hit the chapel. Honey, what time is it? I got to get going. Where I live, it's great. I can get to a casino in 10 minutes. I can get to the airport in 10 minutes. I love Old Vegas. This is where everyone lived, in these houses where I live. Johnny Carson had a place, Dean Martin, they all had houses up here. They didn't live here full time, but they'd come to Vegas and play for 2-3 weeks, a couple times a year. Elvis was the first one. He did a residency in 1969, and he would do it for a month, like all of January, and then come back in July. 30 days straight, 2 shows a day, 7 days a week. What's happening? What do we got? I don't know.
You got 1 third, you got 4 that you're doing.
Yeah.
Group ceremony, and you're relieving Daniel.
Daniel. Yep. Daniel's son.
Daniel's here.
Hey, Danny boy.
What's going on, baby? All right. So what's been going on, man? Yeah.
You're doing a thing tomorrow, the Elvis Fest?
Yeah, tomorrow I'm doing the Vegas Elvis Fest, so I'll be performing that night.
Good.
Back to back. So we're doing a One Night with the King, and then also we're gonna perform All Shook Up, of course, the regular show.
Yeah.
And then do another show out that night, and then Saturday I work with the other guys.
Saturday, I'll try to come Saturday then.
Well, come on down, baby.
Tomorrow.
We need Brandon Paul, man, the king of Las Vegas.
This is Daniel, our newest Elvis too. He's been here. How long, Daniel?
3 years.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was thinking 3 weeks. It's been 3 years.
Yeah, yeah. When I came from that rocket ship and you took me in and raised me like Superman.
He's a young man. Daniel's half my age, but he's a. It's
Well, I'm like your left leg, boss. Thank you. If that's what you're trying to say.
the shaky one. Oh, this is our little kind of Elvis changing room, and we fill out like we married people, so we have a desk here to fill out the paperwork and a curtain for privacy. But yeah, this is. Oh, you don't. Sorry, my Trump sign on it. We've had a lot of protests in Vegas. I go down as Elvis, especially because they call it No King's Day, so I go down in costume and lend support. It's always cute. All right, time for the king to get dressed. I'll be back. So who comes here to get married? Let me tell you, the world. We do at least 50% of our weddings take place from mainly UK, Germany, Italy, France, all day. Tons of Brazilians. That's why we offer the multi-language ministers because of that. I once again pronounce you husbands and wives. One thing left, guys. Beja. So goes, how could you do close to 80,000 weddings I think I've done at Graceland over the years? They go, you don't get sick of singing the same songs? I said, no, because I just enjoy watching people enjoy it, and I'm like, I get off on that. Like this. I'm not there for me. I stopped doing this for me about 25 years ago. But it's great to be a part of someone's special day, or they love Elvis. Elvis means a lot to them in their life and their dream. I mean, I can't tell how many people come to the chapel and say, as a little girl, my dream was to be married by Elvis. And now the next best thing, I'm being walked down the aisle and sung to by Elvis. And I'll start singing sometimes, and the bride will start crying. And I can tell it's not me. I joke, I said, oh, is it that bad, the singing? I make a joke, but they're just massive Elvis fans. And I can see the way they look at me. They're not even looking at me, they're like looking through me. They're seeing Elvis. So to be a part of that, it's like, I'd give the money back to be part of that, you know what I mean? Some people plan this for years. We had a couple last week, they got married, and as they left, they said, we'd like to book in 10 years from now to come back and do our renewal. So they said, are you gonna be there? I said, unfortunately, yes, I'll still be here. But that's kind of cool, right? 10 years out, and then yet we've had people where I married someone that knew each other 2.5 hours. They met at the pool. I remember at the Mirage, because I said, where'd you meet? They go, the Mirage. And they didn't even tell me right away. I just said, where are you from? He goes, Seattle. And then I said, where are you from? And he looked at her, he goes, where are you from? And I remember going like, what do you mean, where are you from? Yeah, your wife? She goes, I live outside of Chicago. And so I said, well, where are you guys gonna live? And they go, we haven't really thought about that. And I said, well, how long have you been together? And he looked at his watch and I said, here we go. He goes, what, about two and a half hours. Someone said, you think they're still together? And I said, I like to believe they are, because otherwise I wouldn't do this job. If I was cynical about love, I just can't. I just think everyone's still together. We're fighting to keep it together, you know? Now we're here at the Marriage Bureau where I turn in my marriage licenses. I mean, this is a wedding capital of the world. We do over 70,000 weddings a year in this town. That's a lot. Hey, how are you, Rebecca?
I'm good. Good to see you.
Good to see you, hon.
Been a busy boy, huh?
Oh, never stops. This used to be 24 hours. What year did they stop doing that?
I would say maybe I've been here since '04. I used to work that little graveyard. It was very slow.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you never know what you'd get at 3 a.m. in the morning.
Those are the fun ones, come on.
Oh, yeah, those are the fun ones.
Britney Spears was like that. I think she was like 4 a.m. or something.
Yeah, she came in after, and I think that was '06.
Yeah,
so it had to be a little bit after that.
Yeah.
So, Brandon, these will all get filed by the end of the night.
Awesome. Thanks, sweetheart.
Good to see you.
All right.
Elvis has left the building.
If I go to Blush Salon, because Joanna's been taking care of my lashes for years. How are you? Look at you. Can't have black hair and white lashes, so she's my girl.
Look up.
So to be an Elvis impersonator, it takes a thick skin off the top, really, because people kind of laugh at you. They'll say, you're an Elvis impersonator, the way I look. I say, yeah. They go, what do you do for your real job? I said, believe me, it's enough. But you know, you have to be able to sing. I play guitar. That's why I started as a musician, so I bring that to the table. And you have to have charisma, or if not, at least know how to fake it. Because, I mean, Elvis had so much charisma, and you're imitating that guy. For me, the secret to what I think, what I do, my success, is I'm laughing all the way with you. Because some people take it seriously, and I'm laughing too. I'm going, can you believe this? I'm going through life sharing another man's hairdo. It's a little strange, but it's awesome. This is my 31st year in Las Vegas, and sometimes when I'm doing, 27, 28, 30 weddings in a day, I can start to feel it because, you're getting older. I've had two hip replacements, and I have nodules on my vocal cords, but you know what? I'm having a ball, so I just keep going until the legs fall off. I'll keep rocking. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
All right. Done.
Woo!
All right. I will see you next time. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Great seeing you.
You too.
All right. Take care.
And when I have a break, sometimes I'll meet my family, and because I'm back and forth at the chapel, I'll say, hey, let's meet somewhere downtown. Between my two sons, I joke about them taking over the family business, whether it be just running the chapel one day, but also, I can't do this forever. I can't do this 2 more weeks. I said to them, would one of you ever want to do this? And my oldest son, Cole, who was a theater major, and he sings and plays guitar, so he's like, well, maybe. And I said, look, it's the dyeing the hair. You have to have an understanding wife or something, because it's a little freaky, because everywhere you go, people say, thank you very much, Vinny. But I go with it. I'm like, go ahead, right back at you.
Immediately after graduated in May, came back and got my officiant's license in the beginning of June, and then just did traditional weddings. One of my first ceremonies actually was with him, and I'll never forget it. It was a couple from New York, and I try to keep my ceremonies more serious, right? They're traditional. He comes in just cracking joke after joke, and what really set him off was he does this candle bit, like the unity candle, and then he makes a joke at the end, and he's like, it's only bad luck if this one blows out. And then he proceeds to blow it out. Most people laugh. This couple did not find it funny whatsoever.
So I laughed even harder when that happens. I like that. That's when I start laughing.
Groom didn't want to take pictures with him, and then even afterwards, they didn't want to pay me. He always tries to ham it up a little bit, playing Metallica in the corner.
It must be interesting though to see what your dad does.
Oh yeah,
though.
definitely.
I mean, growing up with him in the house, him doing his hair every day like that, and not really understanding maybe. When do you think you started to understand what he does for a living?
It's a little weird always growing up, especially in the airport. So you travel and people would come up and ask for a picture, and you think your dad's a celebrity, which he is. I'll give you a little credit. I'll give you a little credit. Career day at school, whenever that was, when he would come in the jumpsuit and everything. I always loved it. My friends thought it was the coolest thing, and kind of slowly start to put it together.
Yeah.
Exactly who he is.
Do you boys think you'll ever do Elvis?
I don't think so. I don't think we could ever live up to this guy. I'll never forget though, when I went to your house about a year ago, just going through the closet, going through some of my old clothes, and you had hung up some of your old jumpsuits, and I saw the comeback suit, all leather, the jacket and everything, and tried it on for, shits and giggles, and it fit like a glove.
Yeah.
I sent my girlfriend some photos, and she thought it was to die for. She thought it was funny. Yeah.
Yeah, with the high collar, the black leather. It's great.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, cheers to the Graceland Wedding Chapel, to the legacy of the boys taking over so I can get some well-needed rest. Cheers. Cheers. I love you guys.
Cheers.
Like when I walk onto the street, people go crazy, especially when you're in a jumpsuit. And like on Fremont Street, people are excited. I mean, they're in Las Vegas, they're looking at lights. Here comes a 6'4" guy in a rhinestone jumpsuit, and they get excited. And I feed off that because that's awesome. I'm a spectacle. I don't think, oh, don't bug me, don't look at me. That's the purpose, that's the point. And when I was a kid, I loved the $6 Million Man, Lee Majors. And so we found out he played touch football in North Hollywood every Tuesday night. So I was like in the 4th grade, 9 years old. My mom would take me every Tuesday. I'd bring my $6 Million Man doll. I belonged to the $6 Million Man fan club, and I'd wait for him to meet him and get his autograph. And every week, a guy would run over and say, hey, kid, Lee's not here this week, he's filming. I'd say, okay, next week, Mom, can we go back? My mom would take me down, we'd sit there and wait for the team to arrive. And then after about a month, he wasn't there, and a guy came over and he said, hey, kid, by the way, if Lee was here, he doesn't sign autographs. And it crushed me. I mean, I was 9 years old, but I loved him. And I said to myself, God, if I was famous, I would shake every hand, sign every autograph. So last year, I was in LA, and Lee Majors was making an appearance. So he was sitting at a table, they go, next, and I went up and I started crying. And it took me 50 years to meet him. And I said, I'm sorry. He goes, I was friends with Elvis, and he started talking to me like as a real guy, right? And he was telling me these Elvis stories. So I just always I think you should be sweet to everyone now and every day, because it gives a little bit of joy. How awesome to be a part of that. We're up here at the Legacy Club at the top of Circa, one of the newest hotels in Las Vegas, but one of the coolest. The view, you couldn't beat this anywhere. I've been in this town 30 years. When I saw this view, I said, I'm coming up 8 nights a week if they'll have me. Cheers. Oh, Lordy. How are you, sweetie? Hey, I'm sitting with Rod and Dee Dee, co-owner of the Graceland Wedding Chapel, general manager, and they're married. Give a kiss for the camera one time.
That's all you got?
That's all I got.
Have another drink. So this is actually a great story. I was dating Dee Dee, and they had some hiccups with their former manager, and I jumped in and said, listen, I'll help you guys until you find somebody else. But what you don't know, which is why I think this is a wonderful story, a blended story, is Brendan and Dee Dee are actually co-owners of the chapel, but they were married. And they're no longer married, but they have an amazing relationship.
Do you live here?
Hello, past.
Dee Dee and I were married for years, and I started working here when I first moved here. Dee Dee and I bought the chapel. And then when Dee Dee and I separated, we had 2 wonderful boys, and we just said, we have this great business. Why would you jeopardize that? And we're friends, and we have kids, and it's successful, and we're running with it. And there's no need to let that small stuff get in the way of a fun business.
Rod and I were having a hiccup when we were dating.
Yeah, you had a hiccup.
And I said to Brendan, Rod and I think we're gonna break up.
Yeah.
And Brendan said, wow. Well, I think you need to stay home for a few days because I'd hate for Rod to be uncomfortable at work.
I literally said, look, don't come to work. We need Rod.
Here's to our beautiful dysfunctional family that happens to work.
It happens to work.
Yeah.
Cheers to everybody.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Well, I hope you enjoyed watching what I do every day in Las Vegas. So come see me sometime at the Graceland Wedding Chapel. Thank you. Thank you very much.